Hello and welcome. Happy New Year. Let's talk fantasy football, something I don't do too much on this channel. Week number 16, 17, final week rather, of the regular season. And I haven't done so well this year. I've had one good week, about three or four, five maybe average weeks, and everything else has been bad. I'm going to be playing three different lineups. Don't know how they're going to be constructed or how different they are. They'll be in the Millionaire Maker lineup. I'll be playing under the user AG47. Thankfully, the football season is coming close to an end, but even thankfully more so, the NHL season is going to be resumed because that's where, for myself, the bread and butter of the profit, and really where the I've been able to have fun being able to play higher stakes than I normally have in the past just for recreational purposes. Hence playing three different Millionaire Maker lineups in this. That's a $60 cost. Not much, but not small either. So therefore, where do we go with the lineups? Where do I go? It's an interesting strategy. Like, the thing about it is I got right off the bat a $3,000 Buffalo Bill player in here, Isaiah McKenzie. How many of these teams, like Kansas City, they're going to be playing backups? How many of these cheaper priced guys are going to come in that can actually put an impact? 4 of 4 last week for 26 yards. He managed a touchdown in Week 13 against San Francisco. Will he get more playing time now in the third, fourth quarter? Really the whole game. But he's not going to have Josh Allen really throwing much to him at all either, though. Interesting how that would be played. As far as the quarterback position, Aaron Rodgers, I'm looking for a team. I don't want to play Patrick Mahomes. It's what does suckers play this week he's going to be, I have to feel. I mean, Lamar Jackson might be safe because the fact that they're playing Baltimore needs to win that game. So that's really where I want to be careful. Like, how much does Tampa Bay really have to play for, really? But I know Aaron Rodgers, who is a stud quarterback, is in a spot where Green Bay needs this game, at least for seeding purposes. And they are a heavy favorite within it. So right now he's the first quarterback that I've put on this list. And 26 points recently, 18, 31, 24, 25, 26. So he gets the job done on a week-in, week-out basis. One of the top quarterbacks in the league, of course. Right off the bat, I'm paying up for the running back position on the first line anyway. David Montgomery at running back, $7,700 cost. I don't mind showing this lineup because I don't think I'm going to take this one to town when it's all said and done. At least as one of the three even that I play. But he's coming off a 20 point, 32, 27, 27, 28, 6, 12, 11, 13, 18, 10, and he had a 21 in week number 2. When he played the Packers before, that was a 28-point performance as well. He's just getting the job done on a week-in, week-out basis. He scored in like every single week, too. So it's like, okay, he's doing it every week. Is there going to be a week he gets the 0 mark? Even here, he got the 0 mark. Still managed to get 28, but I guess he got a touchdown catching the ball, though. So he has got a touchdown all-purpose in every game since week 12. And he had some time off, so it looked like he had a small injury, I suppose. So it looks like David Montgomery is just a real prime time pure back. Now, David Johnson's been playing hot as well for the Houston Texans. $6,800 cost on the DraftKings board. Coming off of 32.27 and a 10-point performance. And some other decent plays in here as well. And as far as the ranking, what was David Johnson's ranking against the position? 28th. Yeah, 28th defensive rank. So Tennessee seems to allow points against the running back position. Now, one of the things I like about fantasy, which is so easy for me to do in hockey, very easy actually, not as much in this sport, just pair things that go together, even at advanced or even intermediate level. The only thing I can really think about too much here is things like, okay, you can put like quarterbacks and receivers together. So Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers go together. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, some receivers you just play are just the top receivers. I play a lot of receivers anyway, but Davante Adams is one of the top in the business. And with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, that's someone I want to get in my lineup. He's the only Packer I got in there. I always get 1 to 2 pass receivers in with the quarterback. But some guys are just great runners. You can almost play a naked quarterback is a way of putting it. Like a Jalen Hurts of Philadelphia would be one example and such. Marvin Jones for the Detroit. I'm not too fancy on this pick whatsoever, but he is a play. I mean, I think he was one of the last guys I put in. He had a 30-point game here, but this is one of the weird things I think of. Big game, bust. Big game, bust. And after you just flip it back and forth. So will he get it? I think the matchup here was pretty good. What did I remember seeing here for Marvin Jones? And then what was his ranking? 23rd, so it's like not bad. Chad Hanson's a young guy, still 4,100 low cost coming around. I played him almost every single week since his since really early on. I don't know if since here. So the last 3 weeks. He didn't do anything last week, but I think we're putting him back in again, 4,100 cost. As he had 7 of 7 for 56, 2 of 3 for 55. And it all depends on the injuries too, because let me just take a look at the injuries that Houston has, because if the receivers are back in the lineup, then last week it didn't look like that was a problem. Okay, I guess it's going to come down to Kevin Kuti. And see if he comes back into play, and you might want to consider 4,100. Let me see if I can find a way to make this better. Gaiseki at tight end for the Miami Dolphins. A couple big games here, and then a 9.4 there, 11.5. I don't want any part of Travis Kelce because of the fact that, Kansas City's like, I'm just going to go ahead and put McKenzie here at wide receiver just so I can put anybody else at flex. So let's go to Buffalo. And look for McKenzie. You also got this Davis guy too, which is Gabriel Davis here. Not as been productive, 3 of 5 for 33, but also not that bad of a price tag at 3,600. But if I'm going to pay for 3,000, I think this is. And I'm going to be looking on game day just to see what information I can get. And that's usually where my lineups always get changed anyway from doing that. And to me, for defense, obvious play is going to be the Cleveland Browns. What? Yeah, I know we got some big ones like fading Cincinnati playing the Baltimore defense, although Baltimore's defense ain't anything too impressive either. But 6.1 average ain't so bad, 2,500 cost, but recently this defense, a 6 and an 8-point game, and we had a 5 and a 20. And Pittsburgh's going to be playing a lot of backups. Right now, Cleveland's a 9-point or 8-point or just a large favorite against the Cleveland Browns in this game. And I don't care if they're chalky and people like them and no. So here's the deal. Okay, so let's just put another final 2 guys in. I got to think there's going to be another $3,000 guy available. I can even go lower at the tight end position, although there hasn't been much lately available below 3. And let's just see. Darren Waller has been pretty dominant lately. 1933, 1448. Let's just see if there's any way of take Gaiseki out, but Darren Waller in. That leaves me with an average of 3,150. It's an interesting stars and scrubs play, and I've done this. One of the very first things I did with NBA way back when is I would make a lineup and just put in like 4 guys around 3,000 and then 4 studs, and I was getting like good cashes right off the bat. But then it was so easy for like a week or two to get $3,000 guys. Then it became so hard. I haven't really checked too much on this season. I'm really not. I am not trying on NBA really. I'm just participating for minimum points back. So who do we got below? First of all, tight end. Let's just to give us some cost saving. Is there anything below here that can possibly make sense? I mean, first one of the things I look at with any sport is who is out that might have been playing recently That won't be. Well, we got Hunter Henry. He was a productive receiver for the LA Chargers. So, next man in. Who do we have at tight end? And they're up against Kansas City, too. So we got this T. Parham guy. He looks relatively young, so I'm sure he's had a little bit of illness, practiced fully. While Hunter Henry's still on the reserve COVID list, Parham could be, that's why I love the could be's, in line for an expanded role in Week 17 if Henry isn't activated in advance of Sunday's contest against Kansas City. What time is this game? At 4:25, so it's very important you put this in your flex spot, because if you're waiting for game time decisions, you're not going to find this information until sometime after 3 o'clock. So you have to make a late game swap. And then at that, you're going to be doing it at a cheap price at 29. You're going to be getting something crappy back. But it says he's not available. So if he's just not available, that means it's already a for sure thing that he's not playing. Who's this Anderson Fowler now? He's also a little young too. And he was 4 of 6 for 48 yards last week. And one of the things I want to try to avoid, I'm getting into this situation here, is where you got competition amongst the same team, like trying to pick the Colts running back, although that one whatchamacallit guy's been doing pretty good lately. It just makes it very, very difficult to do. So who else do we have not playing? Evan Ingram's questionable for the New York Giants. Well, what's your story, Evan? Evan was limited at Thursday's practice. Evan has made it through a season relatively unscathed for the first time in 4 years as a pro, but he is hurt in the left ankle in the fourth quarter. Or he hurt his left ankle in the fourth quarter in the past Sunday's game against Baltimore. Okay, well, if you know he doesn't play, and this is a, what time game is this? This is a 1 o'clock game. So in a spot like that, if you know Evan Ingram was out, you'd have a guy named Caden Smith at 2,500, as well as Toliolo. So you have to pretty much know who the next guy is. And I mean, this could even become difficult to figure out too. But if you know those are next guys in, and sometimes they can just be interesting plays. Let's see on the wide receiver position. Tyreek Hill questionable. I've already looked at the Kansas City backups. I'm not impressed with it. DeAndre Hopkins questionable. After sitting out Wednesday's session due to a hip issue, Hopkins made some progress with an appearance on the field Thursday. He's regularly received days off in his first season with the Cardinals, so the increase in... Yeah, he's going to go. Alrighty, Allen Robertson. I think he played last week too. Robinson is again is logging a surprise. Did not participate in the middle of the week, but you know what though? I'm not buying the fact that he's going to sit. Keenan Allen, COVID-19. Allen, who has been dealing with the hamstring issue, has been placed on. Okay, he's out then. Didn't play last week either, and he only had 1 catch for 3 yards in week 15. Okay, let's take a look at your story. So with you out last game, what did Mike Williams do? Mike Williams had a pretty lackluster game, 9.4 fantasy points. His price tag is down to 5,000. Then we got T. Johnson, better known as, or Tyron Johnson. Had a couple decent games and not so much last, and he's 4,000. Of course, I'm looking for 3,000. That doesn't fit the bill here. Oh, my goodness, you're out, and you were doing so good for me, too. Wow, I mean, not this game. He was just on fire here. Yeah, last week was a bad week, and I didn't even really look at the recap of it. I just, whatever. I think I had 2 lineups and didn't do as good. I don't know how many lineups I had. It was one of those weird weeks because Yeah, it was a Saturday was when the Millionaire Maker I played was on the Saturday. Anyway, let's take a look at San Francisco and their wide receiver position. Samuel is out. Well, I mean, right off the bat, their second most expensive receiver is 3,100. So there's where I'm gonna have to get one of them from. So who's this? This is James. He's got a funny haircut. I know that. Yeah, it's cool. Geez, he sucks though, doesn't he? He had that big game here, and that's hit or miss when you talk about it. If you could have like one of this season and do it, but now he's gonna have the opportunity to play some though. Who's the 3,000 guy below him? It's not like he's got any points, but I'm talking about this Rawcroft guy. Looks like he's got a Broncos jersey on from the past. Alrighty then. So Seattle's receiving defense isn't the greatest either. How about Kevin Bourne? Is he going to be? I always like the number 2 receivers, though he's not. You know, you just gotta. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna stick in James in here. That'll give me somebody at 32 at flex now. All right, who else do we have that's out? Michael Thomas is out again. Oh my, he didn't last back long on the team. I guess, yeah, he's been out for a little bit. Cole Beasley's questionable. Oh yeah, Buffalo's in that spot. Even if he's playing, why are they going to play him so much? Okay, so who do we have at 32, 3,100 for now? Just to put this lineup in to go. Perriman for the Jets. You know, the Jets are 3-point underdogs against the Patriots. And the Jets, they're on a winning streak. They've won 2 games in a row, and the Patriots suck. Yeah, I mean, who would have thought Patriots suck. Okay, that's just how it goes. Oh, man, I know I remember I've looked at you so many times. You were so good. Tough to trust you. Which one of these guys can get the job done? How many of these receivers are going to be... Oh, man, I had you. Marvin Hall was like the only receiver Cleveland had that I seen. So I stuck this guy in my lineup last week. This is the thing about that $3,000 cost. 2.2 cost. Yeah, how do you do? That just was... So which of these teams are going to be playing backup players? Kansas City. So this is... Yeah, these are the backup receivers we're talking about. Dante Robinson at 48, Hunter Hardman at 42, and Pringle at 39. You know, that's just expensive. And I can't afford it when I'm doing 3,200 and cheaper. Who else do we got not playing? Who playing backups? New Orleans is playing for the first overall pick. Chicago, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Are they playing for anything? I mean, if anything, could Tyler Johnson be in play? We had 1 catch for 35 yards last week. And Tom Brady didn't even play the last 74 minutes of that game. Because at the 4-minute mark, Tampa Bay already had an 84 touchdown lead. No, I'm sarcastic, of course. And I actually kind of thought that the big blowout games were going to be that of Tampa Bay and Buffalo's last weekend, and they kind of were. I'll get to wide receiver in a bit, but you can't even get a receiver for under 4,000 anyway. Okay, what else do we got here? So Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Is McLeod going to play? I mean, you never know about these guys. No one's going to see you play them. So you're going to have a unique lineup, and you're going for $1 million for first. So he gets 1 game with you never know. I mean, it's one of those things when you're playing these kinds of DraftKings lineups. If you know one of every 20 or 30 games, he's going to have a good time, 20-ish fantasy points type deal every 40 games, and he's in line for that spot with who the hell's going to be throwing him the ball? Holy crap! It's going to be tough, isn't it? Mason Rudolph. Okay. I mean, it's, if it happens, it happens. But, okay. Baltimore's playing Cincinnati. Buffalo's playing Miami. Do I put the other Buffalo 3,000 receiver in, Roberts? Probably be more. Oh, he's just so bad too. And then with this one here, what do we do about this? I mean, I really don't think I can trust a backup running back at 6,100 cost. He's questionable though. Dalvin Cook is out. Personal issues. What other running backs are going on here? Robinson has been out for Jacksonville. Mike Davis is doubtful for Carolina. Okay, that's interesting. So you have both Davis and McCaffrey out, possibly. Which leads us to an R. Smith. Rodney Smith. Never heard of him before. 7.7 fantasy points in week 15. 4 runs for 23 yards. 7 for 23. I don't know if you can hammer it or not. Hammering means they just run over and over and over again. He is catching the ball, which, I mean, having a different role can change that too. But if he gets the hammer roll without catching, I'm fine with that. You might be, one of the ways to go is just play one of those running backs and then another stud receiver. So if we go like this and put in Smith, because I'm having a hard time finding another receiver. Now I can get 6,900. I'm going to get a stud receiver now. I'm going to have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and a receiver, or even running back for that matter, at 6,900 or cheaper. So who do we got left? So who's the final list of guys to choose from? I don't know what the chances of this line will be. Brandon Cooks. Coming off a good game. Solid performer. He had a 30-some-odd point game and followed up with 20 before. When he played Tennessee last time, he got 22 points. I was in here. So he's definitely viable, and he's very good at getting the double-digit points. It's a game, the Houston Texans, well, they're terrible, but they're still going to play it. Who else do we got? We got Dobbins at running back, who's been... when I've been watching, he seems to be getting some points here and there. Yeah, 13, 15, 15. Definitely not going to put him in. I definitely don't like him for the price. I could put David Johnson back in again, too. Oh, this is Deontay Johnson. Okay. Well, I already have David Johnson in. But I'm not putting him in. He's on Pittsburgh. No way. I mean, they're going to put backups in. Chris Godwin, not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole this weekend. I mean, Tampa's got nothing to play for, do they? Let me just read. I'm pretty sure they don't have anything to play for. Let me just read what it says on here about though the Bucks have locked up the postseason berth, playoff post positioning is still at stake. But they have no chance of beating New Orleans. And does it really matter if it's 4 seed or 5 seed as long as you get a spot on that? You know, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust them at wide receiver. So then, let's just... Don't like anyone else in here. And just trying to think, if I like anyone below here, I can either just... I don't think I need to leave anything off because of what my lineup construction's like, but maybe I could upgrade a position. Who would I want to upgrade, though? So, you know, I'm just going to put Brandon Cooks in. And there is my next lineup. Alrighty. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.